have a ton of things to cover. It is our weekly Northern Nevada Disaster Cycle Services Volunteer Opportunities and Updates meeting. I'm bear.lewis, the Disaster Program Manager here in Northern Nevada, and we're going to get right into it, starting with our upcoming events and opportunities. So things are a little bit slower this week, but not a ton slower, especially for Randy Honeywell, because we have the HOSA Leadership Conference that I'll talk about in a little bit. This Thursday is our weekly Northern Nevada Red Cross team meeting. And hello, Eric and Amber. Come sit down, you guys. We just got started with the meeting. We're talking about upcoming volunteer events and opportunities. So for those of you guys who don't know, this is Eric and Amber Weimer. Hello. And they are Spring Creek volunteers along with Sarah Stevenson. And so we're all here in the Homeowners Association boardroom. So each month, we go to a different location and have our in-person meetings. So this month it's in Spring Creek and we're excited to be here. So thank you guys for coming in person. I was just talking about on Thursday, we have the weekly Northern Nevada Red Cross team meeting that includes all of our lines of service and is hosted by our executive director, Tiandra Rushing. So we're there. We give an update about everything we're up to. Service to Armed Forces is there talking about everything they're up to. Our communications team, our business operations team, and volunteer services. If you guys are ever curious about anything that's happening outside of disaster cycle services, feel free to attend this meeting, ask questions, find out what our board is up to, find out what our different committees are up to and what they do. And I always include the link in this agenda. It's always in person at the Reno chapter office, but it's always virtual as well. So it's open to everybody and anybody who's interested. Does anyone have any questions about that meeting? Okay. I don't think Erica was able to join us on this meeting, but also on the 22nd, this Thursday, we have a Service to Armed Forces event, not part of Disaster Cycle Services, but I know a lot of our disaster volunteers like to support our veterans and our armed forces. So I like to talk about the other opportunities available and the things that they have going on. So I don't know the details. You'll have to reach out to Erica for the details. But if you're interested in supporting, we're going to be doing crafts there with the veterans at WestCare. I don't know much about WestCare or even where it's at. So you'll have to reach out to Erica, but I'm pretty sure it's close to the Reno Washoe area. And at least when I went to the veterans home and decorated wheelchairs, it was super fun. We did it for their Veterans Day. And it's just a lot of cool characters out there with a lot of awesome stories. And they just appreciate having company and hanging out. So if that feels like something you would like to do, please reach out to Erica. Any questions that I might be able to answer about it? Okay. We are also on Thursday at 6 p.m. having our regional recovery casework meeting. So this is for all of you recovery workers out there. Anybody who might be interested in learning how to support our clients that are either displaced from their house due to a house fire or another disaster, or those who might be impacted by an evacuation or other big event in our region. Or if you want to deploy and be a caseworker, you can do that on bigger disasters as well. So any interest in supporting casework, that is the meeting for you. And it's for the whole region, for all of Utah and Nevada, so it's virtual only via this link. Does anyone have any questions about recovery casework or that meeting that's coming up? Ooh, quiet crowd today. On Friday, more Service to the Armed Forces volunteer opportunities at the workshops that they're doing at the Veterans Administration. Again, don't even know the time of those workshops or what the needs are, but I do know that 2 volunteers are needed, and Erica may have those spots already filled, but if you're curious or want to help, or maybe want to help at a future Service to Armed Forces event, reach out to her and let her know. We're trying to get Service to Armed Forces more active again in the Northern Nevada chapter. We don't have any staff leads that work in Northern Nevada, so we're really helping to support those staff that are trying to organize everything from Southern Nevada and Utah. So again, if you guys are interested in service to the armed forces, please reach out to Erica and she'll fill you in. Any questions about that? On February 23rd, also that Friday, we have our regional all hands meeting from 9 to 11. It's virtual only. It includes all the staff from all the lines of service and any volunteers who would like to join in from all over Utah and Nevada. It's really more informational only. There are some opportunities to ask questions, but it's usually more, here's what's going on in all of the different lines of service at a regional level. But everyone is always welcome to attend, and you can always ask me questions that might come up to you during that meeting if you have any. At this point, does anyone have any question about what the regional all hands meeting is or why you may want to participate? All right. On Sunday from 5:30 in the morning to 5:30 the following morning, I'll be duty officer again. I always invite any volunteers who might be interested in being a duty officer or is in the process of training to be a duty officer to shadow me. And how that looks is we get a call in from the National Dispatch Center that says there's a home fire in Spring Creek. Hopefully not. But if there is, it's been a while. It's been a while, so I know. We might need some responders to go out and support this family. It is then sent to our regional RC respond queue. When I'm duty officer, I get a phone call and a text message that says, hey, we have a call that needs attention. If you want to shadow me, I would then send you a text message. It says, hey, jump on this Teams meeting using this link, and you can listen, watch, hear everything I do, how I interact with the fire agencies, with the client, and then with our responders who go out and actually support clients out in the field. So if you're curious about that, it's always a huge need. We're always looking for people who want to cover duty officer shifts. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. I just had a 36-hour shift and got no calls. Again, knocking on wood, because my next shift may not look like that at all. In contrast, I covered all of Labor Day weekend and I had like 35 to 36 calls because it was the week after Hurricane Hillary, but Las Vegas actually experienced more flooding during that time. And when you're duty officer, you're taking calls for the whole region. So it's all of Utah and all of Nevada, which means most of the calls we get are for Las Vegas and Salt Lake City because we have pretty small populations here in Northern Nevada, thankfully. But if you guys are interested, please let me know. Does anyone have any questions about being a duty officer or shadowing? Quiet team. On Monday, I'm going to be at the Reno office in spots. So from 9 to 10:15, and then I'll also be there from 1 to 2 p.m. when we're doing our monthly inventory garage cleanup and organization. So if you guys feel like stopping by, chatting with me, I'll be at the Reno office during those times. But most of Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it's the Nevada HOSA State Leadership Conference, which is, Randy, can I have you give the pitch for the HOSA Leadership Conference since you're the woman in charge and know it best? She may not be able to come off mute. And I kind of put her on the spot. For those of you who are not aware, I don't know what HOSA, the acronym, stands for, but if Randy can hear me and she can come off mute, she can probably tell us. But the organization is for all of our youth who are interested in supporting health services. And the youth are from intermediate school age all the way up to technical school age. I think if I saw the numbers correct, there's going to be close to 1,200 kids in attendance. I think the number was like 1,189. They participate in a bunch of different activities. There are judges needed for some of the competitions that they engage in. It may be too late to sign up, but I'm going to leave the information on here just in case they are still needing judges and there's opportunities to sign up. But we will be doing 2B Red Cross Ready presentations on the 26th and the 27th from 9 to 9:45 to any of the kids who want to attend our workshop and how to be more prepared for disaster. And in this one, really going to focus on not only how to be prepared at home, but also if you're a healthcare professional and you're at work, how to prepare your family and yourself, because you're probably going to be needed at work if there's a major disaster, and you might have to prepare a little bit differently than people who are just focused on their own family. So I'm really excited about that opportunity. Randy, can you hear me, and were you able to come off mute? Is there anything else I should add? I can see you come off mute.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't hear you. You're breaking up. I'm sorry. But I'll send out in my email tomorrow that follows this up with the video and the agenda anything that Randy wants me to add. That sound good, Randy? All right. And you guys, I included all the links to check out and sign up to be a judge in case they still need some. So, and I've also included Randy's email address, so you can reach out to her direct with questions too if I don't have the answers. Also on the 20. Oh,
sorry, I have
we
bad
can.
service. Sorry, I have bad service.
That's okay. We can hear you now. Should we add anything? Okay. We're going to move on. I'll catch up later. Okay. Yep. Now we can hear you.
Yeah. No, we still need judges. If anyone wants to come help out, that's awesome.
Okay. And do we know what HOSA stands for, what that acronym is?
It doesn't stand for anything. It just is a representative acronym for future health professionals.
Okay, good. Then I'm not crazy, because I looked up and down the website and I'm like, surely I'm missing it. So that makes me feel better. I'm not missing it. Perfect. Well, you guys, if you're interested, it's a great way to invest in those who may be taking care of you in the future. For some of us, in the nearer future. All right. Also coming up on the 26th and the 27th, it's a 2-day series. You have to attend both days from 3 to 6 p.m. We're offering supervising the disaster workforce training. So if you've ever gone out on a disaster and you've been like, oh, I want to run this team, this is the training for you. It's for any supervisor or anybody who wants to be a supervisor for a disaster action team, whether it's local responses or supervisor of any other activity on any deployable disaster. So if you're interested in checking it out or becoming a supervisor, please sign up. You can register via the link that's in the agenda. We are always looking for good supervisors. For those of you who have been deployed and have not had a fantastic supervisor, this is an opportunity for you to make a positive difference and do better, because there are some less than awesome supervisors out there. And this is how we make it better, is we just saturate the pool with really great people. So if you're interested and you like leading teams, please let me know. Any questions about that opportunity? Okay. On Tuesday, a week from today, we have these very same meetings that we have each week. We just finished our preparedness work group meeting, which if you guys are interested in supporting our preparedness activities, we have a ton of opportunities, all the way from Reno out here to Spring Creek, to do preparedness education to our youth in the schools, and then to our community members with Be Red Cross Ready and Hands Only CPR. And with Randy's help, she's really done an amazing opportunity collaborating with us to help educate our teams and community partners in Stop the Bleed and Narcan training, which we know is invaluable right now, especially the Narcan training with all of the opioid overdoses we hear about, and especially those that happen to families when they're at home and they could have maybe saved a loved one if they just had that on hand. So if you guys are interested in supporting those teams, we have a really robust meeting, as Sarah can attest to, that we used almost every minute just to talk about the different things that are coming up and different opportunities. One thing specific to Spring Creek that we want to focus on for a lot of different reasons, but mainly because they're so vulnerable, is our wildfire preparedness education. A recent report, I can't remember exactly when it came out, but really indicated that Spring Creek is as vulnerable as some of the worst areas we've seen terrible fires occur in. Those fires I'm talking about are Paradise and Hawaii, where a lot of lives were lost. So the more preparedness education we can help do out here, especially in regards to wildfire, would be amazing. Winnemucca and Elko and all of the really surrounding communities are a huge boomtown right now because the mining and the new mining that's coming in. So tons of new homes, tons of people moving in from maybe areas that are not prone to wildfire and may not know that they're moving into an area that has those dangers. It's a little bit deceiving in some of our areas in the high desert because they're not necessarily prone. They don't have the pine trees or the vegetation. But right here in Spring Creek, we're in some foothills going right into the Ruby Mountains. And so there's a lot of communities that are vulnerable, especially in high winds. So trying to do a ton more outreach, not only in Spring Creek on that front, also Washoe Valley and in our North Valleys area, closer to Washoe, are going to be kind of our focus areas this year. We might be putting Mogul on hold until next calendar year. And we might put Spring Creek in this summer, which will fall into next calendar year as well. But definitely two of our focal points. If you guys are interested, please join that work group meeting, even if you don't want to do presentations, because there's a lot of support needed. I'll talk about what that support might look like a little bit later when we talk about the amazing event that we did on Friday in Fernley.
Would you be able to repeat the date and time of that meeting, please?
Yep, it's next Tuesday, February 27th at 3 p.m. And it's going to be virtual only next week via the link that's in the agenda that I'll send out.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions about that preparedness work group meeting or this meeting that we have next week as well? I want to use this as an opportunity to invite any of you to add anything to the agenda of this meeting. So if there's anything you want to hear about as a volunteer, I'm sure other volunteers want to hear about it as well. So please let me know. That's what these meetings are for each week, to let you know what's coming up, but also just to talk about anything that's Red Cross related, more specifically to disaster cycle services, that we can talk about and educate you guys all about and the opportunities. Go ahead, Amanda.
Thank you. So I am curious a little bit, where can I find information or aspects in regards to follow-up care for marriage family therapy, or just after care in a mental health status? Where are those people listed? How can I get in contact with them?
And when you say those people, are you talking about the Red Cross volunteers that support our disaster mental health services, or are you talking about our partner organizations?
I am talking about the volunteers, the professional licensed CPCs or MFTs that do respond, like that database. I would really like to get in touch with some of them, in that mental health aspect in the state of Nevada, and see if I can kind of work with them in a volunteer aspect and stuff.
Okay. We don't have a huge disaster mental health team, but we do have a couple of volunteers that I'll connect you with, Amanda, that can really walk you through. And a couple are very experienced as far as deploying on disasters and what that looks like.
So
And go ahead.
I'm finishing my master's, starting my practicum. So I was thinking if I could, talk to somebody and see like through Red Cross too, if I could, because it's all like donated time or whatnot. But if somebody wanted to help teach me or could hop on board with something, would be interested or have the time, I would like to try to take advantage of their knowledge and skills and, willingness to volunteer.
Yeah, so we also have a volunteer in Northern Nevada. She actually supports the national, or I kind of think she runs the national disaster mental health team. Her name is Danella Pirelli, so I'll connect you with her because that might be perfect.
No way. She's the one, she was so cool. She did I forgot there's other people on here. I'm sorry. She did my my psychology class. Okay, I'll get in touch with her. Thank you.
Okay, so do you have her contact information or do you need it?
I would like it, but if we don't have time, I can definitely track it down.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she could definitely help out. Any other questions before we move on, or any other suggestions, you guys, for other things we can include? Okay. So some other things, some save the dates. They're coming up in the further future. We have our home fire campaign and our post-home fire outreach group meeting next Wednesday. I still need to include the link. I just see that I forgot it. So I'll include that before I send this agenda out. But it will be in person at the Reno office and also virtual for anyone who wants to attend. And it's always the fourth Wednesday of every month. And I think I blew right over it. But on Monday, I mentioned I'll be at the office. But if you guys also want to join in, we'll be doing a garage cleanup and inventory. Sorry, I'm going to go right back up here for a second. Right here at 1 to 2 p.m. Chico and Dean Held have been amazing. They've been coming every month and supporting with that. But we could always use more volunteers to help us, and it's more fun with more volunteers. And Jean threatened to bring some snacks, some really good cookies, and I'm going to bring some music so we can even shake while we do it. So if you guys are interested, it's a really fun time for us to just get together, hang out in the garage, count stuff, clean up, do that type of stuff. So if you're interested, please join us on Monday.
Am I having a senior moment, Sherry, or didn't we just do that last week?
Chico, you're not having a senior moment. This is
Jean reminds me we just helped you load the van. Never mind.
Yeah, we did just load the van, but we were kind of counting, and we were also doing a little dance, Chico, because there was going to be so much less for us to count. Because we got rid of so many things in Fernley. So you were kind of having a senior moment, but I was also kind of having a senior moment because you made me question myself there for a moment. We still need to count everything. I did just do it in Winnemucca, though, so I've been counting a lot of stuff. And I was counting stuff in a trailer today, too. So no, that's still happening. Join us Monday, 1 p.m., Reno office, in the garage, if you can. Okay, also on February 28th, we have our regional duty officer meeting. So all the duty officers, I already talked a lot about being a duty officer, but we're having that meeting with everyone on the 28th at 4 p.m. It is virtual only, and there's a link to register if you're interested in finding out more or want to attend that meeting. Also on the 29th, we have our National Disaster Client Care Programs Team Virtual Office Hours. I don't know too much about what is going to be included in this. It's a national team. They're going to be talking about compliance. If you guys are interested, please join them. That's all I'm going to talk about. That ends everything we have coming up in February. I will talk about the future events as they get closer at our next meeting. But before I move on to the next segment, does anyone have any questions about future events, or are there any future events that we need to add to our agenda? Okay. As you guys can see, there's a lot on the calendar coming up. I think I scrolled through 2 pages of stuff. That's why we're not talking about each of the events at all of our meetings. But please look ahead and see what events you might want to save the calendar for. Yeah, and save the dates, and we'll talk about them more in the future. As always, you can reach out to me about questions about any of them at any time. We have only had one disaster action team response this month, and it's February 20th, which is crazy. And again, knock on wood, because I already kind of jinxed Spring Creek out here a little bit. But honestly, you guys, I think that's absolutely unheard of. One, it's winter time, and that's usually when we see most of our home fires because people are using different heating systems. It's colder, nights are longer. All of those variables usually equal more house fires. Either we're not getting called for them or they're just not happening. I'm hoping they're just not happening because we don't want people out there not receiving our assistance who qualify. One of the things that I'm hoping Jim Rich and some of our disaster action team leadership want to help get going, and if you're interested in helping with this, is outreach to our fire departments. And that's really just visiting in person or calling them, just reminding them of what we do, which is anytime there's a house fire or anytime there's any disaster at anyone's home where there's major damage or it's destroyed, those people who've been displaced qualify for services. So it's just outreach to remind them, here's the phone number you call, here's what we do. Please don't forget to let us know when people can use our help. So there is, yeah.
Oh, I think we're delayed lagging. I would be super interested in that. Is there any business cards of yours or a general office I could pick up, somewhere so I could hand them out if I went by places?
Yep, there's actually a card specifically for our first responders that has a direct line they can call that gets them to our queue a little bit quicker for those disaster action team calls that the duty officer then manages. So yeah, I can definitely get those to you. Also, coming next week, we're supposed to get a bunch of magnets that we can hand out, especially for those volunteer fire departments that are really small, that usually use the one main vehicle each time they go out, that they can put right on their dashboard. So I can get you some of those and the business cards, and that would be awesome. I also want to create a flyer. So tomorrow morning.
I'll take care of a flyer and then I'll show it to you. Yeah, I'll write something up with like what we do, the whole gist, and then get cards and magnets, and we'll verify next week.
Awesome. I love it. So I'll send you the phone number and just kind of the details that are on the card, or I'll take a photo of it and send it to you tonight. And so you can kind of use that as a guideline.
That's wonderful. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda. That's going to be super helpful. And then other volunteers can use it as well. And this is really an opportunity for anyone and everyone in all of our communities, right? Because they're all impacted by home fires. And I will say that our rural volunteer fire departments are the most difficult to do that outreach for because most of those people have other jobs. So they're not just sitting at the fire station usually waiting to talk to a Red Cross person that stops by. So anything that we can get in their hands to help them remember, that we're out there and the services we provide, the better. If you guys go to any community events,
so we're talking like Elko, Winnemucca, like the whole, like look around, like rural.
Everywhere.
Okay, got it. So I'll start larger. Well, we'll do pamphlet, and then I'll kind of backtrack from there. And then would I be able to have some sort of vest or something just when I go out to the firehouses?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. You can use a disaster action team responder vest, or you can wear your polo shirt or any Red Cross branded gear, really.
Okay, cool. Yay. Okay, we'll touch base. Thank you.
Awesome. Definitely. Okay. Any other questions, you guys, about fire department outreach or what that might look like or how that can support our disaster action team? All right. The other outreach that can be done is for our wildfire preparedness education program to those fire departments that are in wildfire prone areas. So we'll give you a flyer for that as well, Amanda. And that just basically allows people to call and sign up for wildfire preparedness education walkarounds.
That sounds great.
Awesome. And sometimes it's a cool opportunity to get out in the community with fire departments in those areas if they're interested in teaming up. And that's what I'm hoping to do out here in Spring Creek because they're bored. I'm just kidding. They're not bored. But they are hiring. They're up to like 3 people on all the time, all shifts, which is good for Spring Creek because I guess it used to just be one guy. I'm like, that's not enough. Anybody have any questions about our disaster action team responses or our outreach efforts that we're trying to do before we move forward? I do not have a recent home fire campaign update. However, our teams are still going out every Wednesday and Friday in the Reno Washoe area and the extended areas, but we are hoping to get some Saturday dates on the calendar. We have the April 13th date scheduled for Fallon, where we're going to be focusing on areas out there. But anyone throughout Northern Nevada can call this phone number that's on the agenda anytime and request us to come install smoke detectors. If it's not an area that our teams on Wednesday and Friday cover in the Reno Washoe area or extended zones, they kind of go out as far out as Fallon, then we coordinate it for a date in like areas like Winnemucca, Hawthorne, Elko, Wells that are further out so that we can get a few on the schedule and come do them all at once. Or we work with our rural fire department partners for them to do the installs for us. So anybody you know in Northern Nevada that may want us to come out and install smoke detectors for free, except apartment buildings. We do not do that free for big landlords. They have to do that themselves. But any other homeowners or renters that are in a single dwelling will come do smoke detectors for free, up to 5. But honestly, if they need more than 5 to cover their household, we're going to do them. And that also includes this bed shaker and or strobe light smoke detectors for those who cannot hear very well or who may not hear a traditional smoke detector. So please let anyone and everyone you know, smoke detectors do save lives, especially for those individuals who need as much warning as possible to get out of their homes if they might be dealing with some access and functional needs. Any questions about our home fire campaign, what we're trying to do, or opportunities? We had a somewhat quiet week this past week, but very exciting thing that happened was Gail Bursell and Betsy Morse presented our pillowcase project to over 700 kids at Fernley Intermediate School. Just 2 grades of kids, and they have that many kids in that school. And they were amazing. The kids were super well behaved. We had an incredible volunteer response. Like I said, Gail and Betsy did the presentations. Cass Bonfiglio, she coordinated and orchestrated media. So the press was there. She worked with the school district's PIO, which is their public information officer, forgetting that acronym as well, and the school principal, so the media could be there and engage with the students appropriately and get good awareness about what we're doing in schools and great awareness for the school and what they're trying to do for their student body. Chico and Jean, thank you guys so much for your help. Chico mentioned it earlier. We were packing the vans the day before because it's a lot of stuff for that many kids. And then Chico helped me distribute it to 28 teachers at the event. It was one of the fastest 2 hours I've ever experienced in my life during those 2 presentations. And Betsy did a press interview. I did an interview, and it sounds like it was in the media. I didn't get to see it, but sounds like we got some good attention. So kudos to all of our volunteers. Al Wagner was instrumental in setting up the original meeting with the principal and helping coordinate the event. So thank you guys all so much. We reached 700 homes that day, and hopefully a lot of those kids went home and talked about what they learned and how their families can be safer and more prepared should they have a disaster at their home. So thanks you guys so much. Does anyone have any questions about that event or how it went or any feedback on maybe some of the press you saw? All right, hearing none. We might get through this meeting pretty early today, you guys. For team members needed, I talked a little bit about it last week. Just need help reaching out to volunteers, reminding those folks that we haven't heard from in a while about what's happening and inviting them to things they may want to participate in. Or if they've had a life change and they no longer want to be a volunteer, that's okay too. We're just looking for some feedback and trying to clean up our rosters a little bit so we know who actually wants to participate or maybe folks who don't want to participate. So if you're interested in being a social butterfly and making some calls and doing some outreach, please let me know. And then I talked about the fire department outreach. So those are kind of the two areas where we're really looking for team members. And then for our wildfire preparedness education programs. So really, those volunteers are needed in any and all of the areas that may be prone to wildfire, but specifically volunteers who want to help out in the North Valleys area, the Washoe Valley area, and then Spring Creek. Those are kind of the three areas we're trying to look for volunteers who want to learn how to do those walkarounds and work with our community partners to hopefully try and secure some mitigation partners to help with the work and the recommendations that we make when we do those walkarounds. So let me know if you're interested in any of those, you guys, and I will update this agenda so it includes those other two opportunities before I send it out. Any questions, though? Right. All right. It's the Sherry Show today. I'm doing a lot of talking, but Amanda, you've been great. Thank you for your participation. And anybody else with any more questions? Also, if you guys want to add an event to the calendar.
Is there a picture or a pamphlet to give to our homeowners or associates?
For the wildfire preparedness education program?
To send out to their areas?
So that is one of the flyers that's on my list to make tomorrow. And so I'll share that with you, Amanda, when I have it completed.
No, that was a question in the chat.
Yes, Sherry.
I'm not watching around. Oh, can you say hello?
Hello. Hi.
Oh, boy.
Hello.
Hi there.
I don't know if you...
Hi. My name's Connor.
Oh, hi, Connor. Thank you for joining, sir. Do you have any questions about our wildfire program?
Sorry, I cut everything off.
No worries, no worries. Thank you for joining, Connor and team. So we'll get flyers out to everyone once we have created them and have them available with the appropriate information. We're also trying to figure out if we can dedicate a separate phone line just for those requests. Last year, we combined it with our home fire campaign, and it got a little bit confusing for our different responders. Chico, you have your hand up, sir.
Well, and actually it's Jean. I tried to say something. Hi, Sherry. Hi there. One, I'd love to help Amanda out with going to the different fire departments. If she has a list of many, then we could split it up. And I was the one that asked, we approached our homeowners association, but I'd like to go back to give them the information about our home fire campaigns. So that was me asking if you had some pamphlets that we could deliver to our homeowners association.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, absolutely. And we have those flyers always hanging in the Reno office, Jean, if you want to just copy a bunch the next time you're there. Or I can send you a PDF that you can email however you want it.
We'll probably be there Monday.
All right. Sounds good. I hope so.
Yeah.
We have so much left to count. It's going to be a celebration.
Yay.
Yay. But Jean, this is a perfect opportunity for you to let everybody know about our calendar and what you do with our calendar. And while you're talking about it, I'm going to bring it up.
Okay, so in Volunteer Connection, there is a calendar that you can access. So if you delete this email at one time and you don't remember which dates, what's going on where, I try to put everything on the calendar that's in Volunteer Connection. So I color coded a little bit so it looks a little bit more lively and happy, but you can go to any of the dates to see what's going on, and then you can also look up individual volunteer opportunities. Now, I do make mistakes, and I apologize. Sometimes, for some reason, I get the stop date wrong, and it'll go on forever. I think I had Sherry's birthday on there for a week last year. But I try to be accurate. So if anybody wants to access the calendar to find out what's going on, I try to keep it up to date. And if you notice any mistakes, please let me know. But if there's anything you'd like me to add, please send me an email and I'd be happy to do it.
Great. Thank you, Jean. Any questions about the calendar or how you get to our calendar? So I'm going to just show you again real quick. You go to My Groups and Volunteer Connection, and you will not have this many groups, thankfully.
I was going to say, look at those groups.
I know. I have a lot of groups, but typically volunteers don't have this many groups. I'm just in a number of groups because for a lot of different reasons, but you guys are going to look for the one that's called Disaster Services Workforce, and you should all be a member of this group. And you click on that, and it brings you kind of to this landing page for that group, and then you just click on the calendar link, and it brings up this calendar for you. So it's pretty easy to get to if you remember to start with My Groups. That's the hardest part. It took me forever to remember, where do I need to go? So that's the spot. Any questions about our calendar or the different things that we can add to the calendar? We basically need to know the who, what, where, when, and the contact information for people who have questions. But really anything can be added to this, whether it's a community event that we're participating in or hosting, or it's just something that you think it's a great event for our volunteers to know about, especially if it's disaster related and can support awareness in our community. So please let us know anytime there's something that we can add to that calendar, or if there's an event in your community that we should be participating in. So we can talk to our preparedness work group and say, hey, can we get out here? We had a ton of fun at the fire department. Those are just the types of things that we want to get out and do and talk about, what we're doing, and hopefully get a few more volunteers to join our team. I think we've wrapped it up, you guys. Unless there's anything else that anyone would like to talk about at this meeting, or any questions anyone has about anything Red Cross related right now. All right. Gene, how are you, sir? It's nice to see you.
Yep, I'm still around. On the fire department, take the door hangers, a pack of door hangers with you, and give them to the fire department.
Oh, excellent suggestion.
Door hangers, okay.
Yep. Thank you, Gene.
Like a hotel do not disturb?
There's a ton of them in the back room. And
Cool.
I know the fire department can hand them out at their front desk.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, Gene. Excellent suggestion. Yeah, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of door hangers. So, and they have our home fire campaign phone number on them. So it encourages them to call us and get those smoke detectors installed. But thank you, Gene. That's an excellent suggestion. Anything else? Any other good suggestions, little nuggets?
That'll do for now.
All right. Thank you, Gene. Good to see you. I'm glad you joined us, sir. This is the time when I tell you guys, please record your volunteer hours. Lots of different reasons why. One of the main reasons is that it lets the powers that be know that you guys are still active. and you're still participating and still interested in being a Red Cross volunteer. So anytime you send me a text message, anytime you call me, anytime you talk Red Cross, anything, you can include that as volunteer hours. So
I have like probably, I don't know, a good 100 over the last year. I just don't log them. Is that something I can maybe do once a week, like tally and just get in a habit of logging something?
Yeah, really
Okay.
good question. Thank you, Amanda. So yeah, if you're a volunteer who does kind of things on and off, or you just don't want to go in and enter each and every time, feel free to add an accumulation for any time period. It can be for a month, it can be for a week. Better if you don't let it go longer than a month, but yeah, absolutely tally it up, especially if it's kind of a similar activity that you're working on, and then just enter it as a bulk hour. So you can enter 30 hours, doing fire department outreach over the last 2 months or whatever it might look like. But that's absolutely achievable and a lot easier. And that is how I used to do it as a volunteer.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions about volunteer hours, you guys, why you might want to enter them? I talk about different reasons all the time, but it's a reminder you're going to get every week. And then also, there are not many disasters. I'm going to double check before I make a liar of myself. I don't think there's any disasters available to deploy to outside of the area. Thankfully, it's very different from last year where we had disasters happening almost the whole calendar year. Yeah, nothing, no openings. So, not super essential that you enter your availability right now, but if there are some disasters and you have time available that you would like to deploy to, please enter your availability in Volunteer Connection. Reach out to me if you need a reminder on how to do that. But it basically, again, lets the powers that be at the national level know Eric Weimer wants to deploy in sheltering to a disaster in the next month and a half if one happens. So if you guys are interested, we're still a ways from hurricane season, but we're not too far off from tornado season in the tornado alley. So if you guys are interested in disasters, please let me know. California has been flooding. They've been managing their disasters on their own, but they've had a lot of water. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some flood responses in California coming up soon as well, especially if they get hammered with another storm. This past weekend really packed a punch. Any questions about entering your availability, why we do it, or upcoming deployment opportunities or anything like that? Okay. Our next upcoming in-person meeting is going to be March 12th at the Reno chapter office. March is officially Red Cross Month, so there's going to be a ton of media promotions for all the lines of service, whether it be for blood donation services in other areas, service to the armed forces. You will probably see a lot of social media posts and all sorts of things about March being Red Cross Month. So we're going to have our in-person meeting there in the Reno office where most of our volunteers live. And I've asked the mission committee to help support us in that meeting. And I don't know what that looks like, but, we always have a gathering afterwards that we're going to go to see, guys, right after this meeting. And I'm getting hungry. So please, if you want to help plan that meeting or work with our mission committee, if you're curious about what they're up to, please let me know, because it's an awesome opportunity to collaborate and just work on a social event for us to get together. And if you have any ideas of how we can help promote Northern Nevada during March's Red Cross Month and any of the things we do, please let me know. A lot of times we reach out to our cities and our counties and ask for a declaration of their support during the month, and sometimes we get that, and we'll have certificates hanging in the different offices that show that. So if you're interested in helping with that as well, please let me know.
So I'm on a board meeting or a board committee I think I'm trying to fit, there you go. For Carson City School District, I do have a board meeting. It's monthly tomorrow. Would that be something appropriate to bring up with them?
It's usually more government offices like city or town, or cities, towns, and counties, as opposed to actual school districts. But
so it's our school. It's Carson City School Board. So
okay.
The Health and Human Services through Carson City, Ronnie, she's the kind of coordinator of that. I would be able to get in touch with her through Health and Human Services.
Okay. Let me find out as far as the declaration goes, because I don't know specifically if we've ever worked with the school board on that. But one thing that I would love is for you to talk about our preparedness programs for the youth. And I'll share that flyer with you, Amanda, that you can share with them.
So so this is a meeting, this is for yes, I do want to also ask where you guys are at with that. I'm going to approach my kiddos' elementary school and the other ones. I just don't know what dates, they want a little more specific info. So I know I missed earlier, but I'm going to catch up on that and then hop on with Pedro and Pillowcase too, mainly for Carson now, but just one thing at a time. But are you assuming you're into next year, September, October, November?
Yeah, we can schedule that far out, but we're still scheduling spring.
Okay.
So even before the end of this school year, if they're interested.
I will find out tomorrow.
Okay, awesome.
Yay.
I love it. Anything else that we can bring to the team, you guys, or roundtable items before we close out? Okay, well, it's a wrap, 9 minutes early. Thank you guys so much for attending. For those of you viewing the video afterwards, please remember to log your hours for watching the video, because that counts. And let me know if you have any questions about anything we covered on the agenda or in the meeting that we talked about. Have a wonderful afternoon, everybody, and a great dinner.
Enjoy your dinner. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.